Hello, High Heel Knight here, and I just got finished watching the first two episodes of the second season of How to Get Away with Murder. I liked the show very much. I was thoroughly suspenseful with the first season, and I'm looking forward to the second season. There's just a question that I've often wondered about this show, and I'll get to that in a moment. But first, I just want to say that while this second season starts off very well and there's a new mystery, uh, I'm kind of surprised at the cliffhanger of the first season, which was a brand new murder. We find out who it is, who did it, right in the first episode, which is very unusual. You expect that mystery to last through the whole season, like season one, but we find out who did it. Now, not everyone knows who did it, but at least Keating knows, and the person who didn't know, and someone else the person who committed the murder from the first season, the main murder for the first season, knows also. So that core group all sort of know who's killed who, even though they don't directly say, "Yeah, I did it," but it's like they all figured it out. So it is interesting to see if any of that unfolds or how that progresses over the course of this season. And we've set up, it seems that at least 2 months from now is going to be close to death or shot, and don't know if she's being attempted, it was an attempted murder or an accident or what. But in the second episode, we find out that someone was probably definitely murdered, since a person seems to be fallen over a building or something. I'm not sure. But anyway, it's very interesting. The one question I've often had, matter of fact, I'll wait till that. Here's a new question. Falca Jemison, who you might remember her as Jean Grey from X-Men, or Xenia Onatopp from a James Bond movie. She's in this second season. She's at least in the first 2 episodes, and she's introduced as a frenemy of Elise Keating, a former classmate and apparently a former lover. Now, I'm thrilled that Falcon Jensen is on the show. I mean, she's incredibly gorgeous. And I have no problem with the show having homosexuality, because it's has homosexuality since episode one. There's a main character who pretty much slept with any guy he could just to get ahead, and eventually he did get a boyfriend, but even cheated on that boyfriend again just to get ahead with the case. But it's just so out of nowhere that all of a sudden Elise has this lover is who definitely is lesbian. She says in the second episode, Fonda Distance character says that she tried to go with other women, and for some reason it never worked out for the other women. But she's always felt a deep connection with Elise, even though Elise hurt her. Apparently, Elise broke up with her. But it makes me wonder, okay, is Elise bisexual, or does she just sleep with whatever person of power or influence she thinks will satisfy her? I mean, she was married. Did she have an affair against the husband? But she seemed like she still wanted to be with the husband, even though the husband was having his own affair. And she got mad that he was having an affair. And she was trying to get back with her lover, who she wanted to frame for the murder of the first season. And it's like now with the second season, all of a sudden, here comes Famke Jensen, and they had like sort of a college romance with Elise and Famke Jensen's character. And it's like, where does this come from? Again, I have no problem with the homosexuality. It's just that it's so like, well, what are you? I mean, do you just hump whoever you need to hump to get ahead? Even in the 2 episodes, they sort of hint that, Elise just does whatever she needs to do, and she just winds up destroying everyone around her because of all the lies and the deceit and the craziness and the influence and the power and everything like that. So, again, I don't have a problem if you're self-sexual, is it? Or I just wonder, like, what type of person are you? Do you really care about these people that you're sleeping with? Do you believe yourself? Do you know yourself? Or I understand that's sort of the appeal of the show, but I sort of want to give me the direction, I'll take it. So, so the show wants her to be bisexual, that's fine. If she wants to be heterosexual and just has had a couple of flings with the women as well, that's fine. If she's really gay and just had a couple of times with some guys, that's fine. Or maybe she's like honestly doesn't care. Like, as long as you can make my life well, I'll sleep with you. I'll sleep with young, I'll sleep with old, I'll sleep with men, I'll sleep with women. I'll just do whatever. Like the sex is just a piece of the puzzle. In fact, the third episode implies that is all about sex and murder cases. So we'll see how it goes. Now to the main problem I have with the show. The main problem I have with the show is that uh, I guess the first season took place over the course of half a semester, and I guess the second season is going to take place over the course of the other half semester. But what is the long term plan? Because these are students. Elise has her own practice, and she has these students who are interning or extracurricular course, whatever they're working for her. And by the way, I find it hilarious that these kids can somehow do these cases and do school at the same time with all the other classes they have to study for and everything. But still, okay, fine. But like, eventually they're going to go into another class. I mean, the How to Get Away with Murder class, as far as I can tell, is just one class in one season. It's not like you take it 4 years or 3 years, however many times it takes to get your law degree. So it's like, what happens when these kids survive to graduate to the next class? Do we get a full new cast? Does at least move to another place? Do we get do the students like take course 2 semester 2? What's the long-term goal with these characters having it be setting in a school? So that's what I hope they'll address at least by the end of this season, because there's going to be a third season. I can't believe that these students are still students unless, again, she opens up her own practice and just plain hires them full time. Especially since all of them are now getting involved in all these murders and deaths, and it's craziness. It's just ridiculous how much murder and death is around all of these characters. It makes for great television, but you want to suspend your suspension of disbelief as best as possible. It gets harder and harder doing so many murders are being committed around, and so much lying, and so much sleeping, and so much backstory. And this happened 2 weeks ago. This happened 2 months later, and 6 months earlier, and jumping back and forth in time frame, things like that. So I'm looking forward to the season, but I really do want to know what the long-term plan is with these characters and these kids, going forward. Okay, so that was my thoughts on the first 2 episodes of the second season of How to Get Away with Murder. I am High Heel Knight, and remember, find inspiration everywhere.